Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vonakala. I am brought from Genesis 1 verse 3 where God says, let there be light. I am the light of the world and you are part of my beautiful life. You're part of my beautiful journey. You're part of my beautiful world. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys. The most easiest thing to say is telling someone I'm going to resign, but you actually having to take a step and say I'm going to resign, like that, they lied to you. It's not easy. It is not easy. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my journey. I think I'll break this into part of videos where I'll be uploading, and you guys can follow the journey of what made me to resign and why did I resign. And I think I'll also share the after effect of resign. I remember getting that phone call saying I have an interview tomorrow. I was so thrilled. I was so jolly. Guys, I was untouchable. I prayed to God and I said, Father God, the job is mine. I'm claiming it. I'm taking it by force. And when I get out of that interview room, I'm getting out with my job. Did it not happen exactly like that, guys? It did. You know, it did happen like that. I went for an interview. I got out of the interview. When my interview ended, I had ended up with a job. Isn't God great? Like, yeah, God is amazing. So I went home. I was starting work the following Monday. I came to work, honeymoon phase, baby. Honeymoon phase of working environment. The honeymoon phase. Like, I think it was so nice. It was so nice, guys. I was enjoying. I got to know my colleagues. I got to know everybody. They were lovely people. I'm still in touch with some of them. You know, we had made an amazing relationship together. We were just amazing people. They were a bunch of joy. You know, they made the working environment so great. They were fantastic. They were lovely. They were awesome. Yeah. But guys, I think when I look back, the one thing that I never prayed about, you know, it's so important that when we are praying for jobs, let us also pray for our working environment. Let's pray for the working environment that won't be toxic, that won't lead us into depression. And I think that the mistake that many of us do when we're looking for a job, we just pray for any kind of jobs, that God bless me with a job. I'll see myself in there. But how about we change that and say, God, give me a job, a working environment that won't be toxic to me, that won't lead me to depression. Because wow, guys, wow, my working environment became so toxic. So I was on probation for 3 months, and on the 3rd month, guys, it happened that Ugali got bullied. Guys, I got bullied by one of my colleagues. Yeah, guys, it was so sad. It felt a bit strange because, I mean, I've had experienced bullying before, but not that kind of a bullying, you know, if you know what I mean. I've experienced bullying before when growing up, but I wasn't ready to experience it again, especially now that I was in a working environment. I wasn't really ready to experience it, and unfortunately for me, I did experience bullying at that time. Whew. The incident was reported and the incident got ignored. Guys, can I tell you that they never entertained it, they never looked into the matter, they never, like, I think somehow they assumed I'm to be blamed for me being bullied, because I mean, I was still new in the company. Me being the child of God, guys, I forgave the guy. And tomorrow I went to work and I continue to act like nothing is wrong. And I just told myself I'm going to give myself a distance from him, keep a distance from him. But it wasn't that easy because this person I was working close with, but at the same time I needed to do that so that there's no misunderstanding, so that I don't get bullied again, you know, because I knew you press there. That's my weakness at that time. Not anymore, but it used to be a weakness. And then fine, fast forward, things became very sour. The honeymoon phase was no longer great. The honeymoon phase became very sour, baby. It became so sour to an extent that when people were celebrating increasement, I was like a late bloomer on everything. Like, why are you guys celebrating? What is happening? Everybody got an increase. Everybody got bonuses. Everybody, guys, they got everything, and I never got nothing. Mind you, I was still on my 3 months probation, which lasted for almost 2 years. I was still in probation for 2 years, guys. 2 years in probation. 2 years. That time I'm a permanent staff. Yeah. Guys, then how do you then continue living your life normally, knowing very well Kuti hit me bad the day when I learned that everybody got an increase except girl. When I went to inquire about it, I got ignored until I got to a point of just, God, live it. I'm living in this to God, and I'm just gonna look for another job, because I just didn't want to put myself in a position where I'm fighting for money, because I loved what I was doing. So I didn't want to put myself in that position of fighting for money. You know, I'm not that girl. Okay, fine. Yeah, guys, fine. While all of this is happening, I got bullied by the same person again for the second time. Now you need to understand that this time around, when he bullied me for the second time, I think it was a year in the company when he bullied me for the second time. And this time around, I also was going through a lot because of the ups and downs that were going in the company, being treated unfairly, and all of sort of these things that were happening that were not right, which I knew that they were not right, but there's nothing I did about it. So when the second incident happened, you guys, when I got bullied for the second time, it really played a major role in my breakdowns. It was the time when things were very sour in the company, guys. I had to deal with me being treated unfairly. I had to deal with this guy now who keeps on bullying me, and this time around he threatened to murder me. He threatened to murder me. Use those words that I cannot say out loud with my own mouth. He used the F words. He used many words, guys. He used the F word. He used the "it's gonna murder me" and all of that. Okay, fine. And when I then reported the matter, this time around I was so angry that if the matter is not reported, because this guy kept on threatening me with words, I'd rather just go in myself and tell them that this is happening, because I didn't want to lose my life, you guys. I didn't want to lose my life or be reminded of things that from the past. No, I didn't. So it happened that I left. So it happened that I reported the matter, and the matter, when I got into the room, it was already concluded by them that I'm in the wrong. I remember them calling everybody. They called him what happened. They never called me to ask me what happened. So when I went to that room, they already concluded that I was in the wrong. And yet, he was the one that was wrong. And when they later found out that he was in the wrong, they didn't know how to fix the matter, because they've already shown it to me that they're on his side. And at the time, the only solution they came with, they never solved the solution. They just told him, give her space, don't talk to her. Imagine working with someone, you need to talk to this person. They said, do not talk to her. So now it means when he wanted to talk to me, he would either write a note and put it on my table, or you rather tell my other colleague to tell me something, or you rather send me an email. So like, guys, it was just it was just a lot, it was just a lot. And I'm not that kind of person, but at the same time, I wanted an apology, and I realized that I will never get such an apology. I just needed to let go of everything and just to forgive, of which I did. But this time around, guys, I was not myself. I had so much stress because there was just so much that was happening at the same time, and I didn't know how to actually handle everything. I remember I still remember the day when I had a breakdown when we were in a meeting. That was my literally first breakdown, when we were in a meeting, and I just broke down, guys. I just cried, and I was laughing. I just cried. I left the room. They were all surprised, what is wrong with me, I left. I went to the bathroom, I wiped my tears, and I realized this is a lot. And that's when it started to haunt me. It started to haunt me, like, why am I going through all of this? I'll cry myself to sleep, and I wasn't happy. I remember, guys, I wasn't really happy at all. Nothing at that moment was not working for my good. Nothing at that moment was working for my good. Everything was just going sour for me. It was just going sour for me. And I started stressing. I remember I went for fasting for a whole month. I fasted. Guys, the funny thing about my fasting, I keep on laughing about. I will fast. At the same time, I'm angry with God. At the same time, I'll get into my little corner of prayer room, and I'll kneel there and I'll break down. I'll cry and say, God, why? To a point where I stopped asking God why. It was just a point of, I'll just sit, open a Bible, and stare. I wasn't really reading. I would stare on it for such a long time, while in deep thoughts, and while thinking about my life, and while thinking about my journey, and everything that I went through as a child started to come back. Things which I thought I had dealt with, they started coming back. And because this was simply being triggered by just being bullied, and just being triggered by being treated unfairly, I just felt it got to a point where I felt like I was the problem, and I remember one of my good friend called me to say, girl, let's go out for running, let's go out for breakfast. Guys, like, I never say no to outings unless I have no other choice. But that day I said to her, I'm not available. I started distancing myself from my family, from my friends. I kept on saying I'm not available. I kept on saying no, I'm at work. I kept on saying no, I'm going somewhere. That time I'm just locking myself in the room and crying. I stopped eating. I started losing weight. Things like, I was not fine. And one day as I was going to work, I had a back pain, and that's where it all started. I started experiencing a back pain, which wow. I started experiencing a back pain which never stopped. I had a back pain for almost 2 weeks. It never stopped. I then told my sister about it, and she said maybe I should go for a checkup. When I went for checkup, they said I had a back muscle spasm. They gave me pills which made me to be blind. And when I went back again to inform to them that no, the pills that you've given me, they are actually making me blind, and this is happening, they said no, for you need to continue taking it. It's just gonna get better. But nothing was getting better up to the day when I learned that I've got a blood infection. that I have sepsis, that my stress level has now affected my whole body. Because guys, you need to understand that when you are not okay in the mind, when you're not okay in the mind, it affects your whole body. And yeah, so that's how my journey was. I flew down to Johannesburg, went to RESIGNED hospital. That's when I was diagnosed with sepsis, with blood infection. Guys, it was my first time knowing about it, my first time hearing about blood infection. I'm like, what is that? Huh? And I remember in that room, my sister and I said, do you mean blood infection? She's like, no, blood infection. I will do a story time about my journey. For now, I'm just, guys, giving you a glimpse of why I resigned. So I went home. I was so angry at God. I was so angry at everything that was moving. I was so angry. I got home. I got home. I didn't know who to tell. That, you know, they say I have this. And I remember calling my mom, and I told my mom. She was confused. I was also confused. Everybody was confused. How do I get that? Because me, I exercise, guys. Like, I was like, but I'm healthy. I eat healthy. I mean, hello, I don't deserve such. And yeah, it is what it is. I went back to work. I flew back. I went back to work. And I realized that when I'm back to a toxic place. You know, I realized the more I'm back, the more this pain became very severe, and I had to be on bed rest for the whole week. And yeah, for the whole week, just so that I recover. I remember the week after I recovered, I went back again to work, and still it's more like when I was in this place, I was becoming more sick. And I remember on the Friday when I went, I said, can I go home? I want to go home. I want to go home. Can I go home? I want to go home. I need to see my mom. This is not right. I want to see my mom. I can't take this anymore. And I booked a ticket. I went home the very same day. I got home. I saw my mom, guys. She saw me, and she could see that this is not the Bonakala that I know. This is not my child, because I had lost so much weight, and I looked not myself. I looked not myself, guys. And I remember when I was at home, she spoke stuff. She was speaking to me. Me and her will be sitting and talking, guys. This is like so painful. I remember when I was at home, she was talking to me. My mind wasn't there. Like, I wasn't there. She would say things that would normally make me happy, and I would just look at her and not know what she just said, because my mind wasn't there. I remember she woke up early the following day to make me my favorite meal, and I was not appreciative, guys. Like, I just went like, okay, thanks. And she could not understand what was wrong. And I think later that day, when we were sitting, I just said, I'm resigning. Drop the bombshell, baby. I'm resigning. And just like, okay, I will support you. It's fine. She didn't know whether she can ask me, why are you resigning? You know, she didn't know if she should ask me all of those things. And I mean, I just dropped the bombshell there, and I just said it. I think after 10 minutes, and then that's when I said, I'm not happy. I repeated those words in front of her, and then I broke down, and she comforted me. She let me first cry, and she said, if that's how you feel, then if you want to do it, it's fine. I will support you. And then the following day I said to her, I'm going back. Now she's surprised. She thought, okay, this girl has already done whatever she's doing. And my mom just went like, okay, fine, it's fine, you can go. So I came back, and guys, after saying, I did not tell my mom exactly what I was going through. That was the funny part. But I just felt like the fact that I did say something like I'm not happy, that to me, like, it kind of like gave that healing to say I did say I'm not okay, because I did not say that I'm not okay. But I looked fine to people, but to my mom, I mean, she knows me. I came back and I realized that things that were making me laugh, they were no longer laughable. I hated running. I just, all the time, I wanted to be alone, and I was like, this is not me. This is not my life. This was after when I came back home. And I kept going to work like normal. I kept going to work, guys. And when I had my major breakdown, when I cried, I remember I cried. I called my mom because I called my mom because I couldn't get hold of my sister. I called my mom. I just cried on the phone. Mind you, my mom has never, it was my first time my mom having me had a breakdown on the phone like that. I just cried. I cried. And after crying, I just had a voice that said, let it go, let go, let go, let go. And I kept writing it down in my diary, let go. But I didn't know what exactly that I need to let go of. Let go. And I would cry in the middle of the night, and I had this voice, let go, let go. Up until to the day when I had let go and let God. Let go, let God. And that time, guys, remember, I was not done with my fasting. I was still fasting. And I sat down and I asked myself, who is saying all these things? Let go, let go, let God. Let go, let God every time. Okay, fine. Got to work that day. I was so excited, guys. I was so happy. I've never felt that happiness in my life. It was on a Monday. I was wearing green. Green just started brightening my world, and I started wearing a green color the whole week. I'll put pictures. Was wearing green for the whole week, up to the day when I sent the love letter to my boss. Guys, the whole week I was writing. I remember in my desk, let go, let God, let go, let God. And it actually sinked in. Let go. What is it that I need to let go? Because I knew that I was holding to my job, and I knew that, knowing myself that I struggled so much to get a job in my field, I didn't want to go through that phase again, to look for a job and not get a job and then end up settling for something else. So, I was still grateful and I was still holding to it. And then on the Thursday, I said, on the Thursday I was still wearing green. I could not understand why I was wearing green, but I just felt like I need to let go. I need to resign. It became more, the more I said I need to resign, I felt the weight just going down and down. And I remember it was on a Friday. I was at work, and after that I said to all of them, guys, I am leaving the company. This is it for me. My journey ends here. Just like other people, they really don't take you seriously when you say to them, you are living, because like that, who does that? That time she's saying all of this, she didn't even resign. She's just saying she's resigning, but she hasn't really resigned. I didn't resign at that time. And I had this friend of mine. She could see behind it, because every time I remember, I'll go to her office, and we will talk, and I will say, please take me pictures, because I think I took a lot of pictures to escape my sadness. So pictures made me smile, so I was taking more pictures to draw me out of that depressive phase, to draw me out of that sadness phase. And yeah, she was my photographer up until to the day when she said, "Girl, depression is real. If you feel like you must go, go. No, you don't look fine, you know." And she could see that I was slowly losing weight and was becoming a little bit darker, and I wasn't fine. But at the same time, it was not to her to tell me go, you know. It has to come from me to say I am actually living, you know. And I said my goodbyes, and I remember it was Friday, it was around 5 p.m. I sat down in front of my laptop and I started typing. Guys, that was the most love letter. Yeah, it was so great writing it and closing the chapter. It was just amazing. Like, yeah, guys, I really enjoyed writing, and when I said send, I was so happy. I experienced joy in another level. I felt like weight has been taken off my shoulder. I felt like, oh my god, I never worried about what tomorrow is holding, but my focus was nearly shifted on, yeah, what's next. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I will continue on this topic. I think the next video will be on Monday, where I'm gonna continue to you what happened after when I had resigned. Love you. Stay true to who you are.